Hi everybody, and welcome back to a new video. Today is Thursday. I hope everybody is having a great week so far. So today's video is going to be a new modification on the Promark P70 VR drone. So today we're going to be modifying the actual controller. We're going to be doing an extension or an extender range extension, for the remote. So I've gone online and I just purchased a simple 2.4 gigahertz antenna. I think pretty much you can get these in most hobby shops that sell them as well. This one is just by the brand Traxxas. So Traxxas is a pretty big brand company. You can go to any hobby shop that sells RC cars and parts. You should be able to get the antenna there, or I just went on Amazon and I bought it there as well. So it only cost I think it was like $5 or something like that. It was pretty inexpensive. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video for just a second, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the remote over there and I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to set up the camera so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. First step we'll do obviously is we're going to take the batteries out, make sure the batteries are out of the remote before you do this. Then we're going to go ahead and undo the screws, and after we undo the screws we'll go ahead and undo the soldering, and then once we undo the soldering we'll go ahead and remove the old antenna. Then we'll go ahead and install the new antenna, and then once we're all done with that, we'll test it just to make sure that the controller actually works with the drone, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Should. I've done this on my little SEMA before, and it worked perfectly. So hopefully we'll be able to get a longer range with the Promark. So stay tuned. Hold on just a second. I'm going to pause, set up the camera, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so I've gotten the remote and I've gotten everything set up here. So as you can see, I've got the remote. I've got a small screwdriver set. You can use the screwdriver that came with the actual drone, but I have a small precision set. I've got a set of wire snippers. I've got some solder, and I've got my soldering iron, and this is just a old hamster wheel that I use as my soldering station. So first step in here, what we're going to do is we're going to, I already took the front off where it held your phone at, so I took that clip off just to make it easier for me. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do this, and we're going to remove the batteries. Alright, now that we have the batteries removed, the next step we're going to go ahead and remove the screws for the back of the controller. So it looks like there is 4 screws that you remove. So we'll hold on here a second and get my screwdriver out, and we will start on that process. Be careful to make sure that you keep the screws all somewhere close to where you're going to be able to find them. And I think these are all the same size, I'm pretty sure. So we'll find out here in a second. It does help if you have a magnetic screwdriver like I do, but sometimes the screws are kind of a little stingy and they don't want to come out. Alright, so one more over here on this side. Okay, there we go. Okay, so just be careful when you remove the cover for the remote. I'm going to pause here for a second and I'm going to get this open for you guys. Alright, so I've got it open here. So this is what the inside of the controller looks like. So if you want, you can remove these two. These is where the battery sits, if you want, or where the batteries connect to actually power it up. As you can see up top here, this is just hollow plastic up here. This is where the little fake antenna was. It's just hollow and it sits right up on top here. so there's nothing on here. Here's where the actual real antenna is. It's this little wire right here. And bring that in close for you guys. So it's this tiny little wire right here that's connected to the board. That's the antenna. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to turn on the soldering iron, let that heat up, and then hopefully I can get this removed off the board here without screwing anything up. And so yeah, give me just a few minutes here, guys, and I will come back. Alright guys, so I've got the soldering iron warming up right now. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and work on the external antenna here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop off, you'll see there's like a little funky little connector there. That's for like a standard like Traxxas. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to snip that little guy off. Alright, and then so what we got to do next is with that snipped off, we've got to get the actual insulation off on the outside because we want just the bare actual antenna inside here. So it's a really tiny little wire. I should probably use wire strippers, but I don't have wire strippers, so I'm just going to use my side cutters. There we go. So once you get the insulation off, and let me get that into, there we go. Once you get the insulation off, you'll see you just got bare antenna wire there, and just kind of, if you've ever worked with electrical stuff, just kind of move the wire around until it's nice and tight, like that. There you go. I know it's kind of hard to see, so I can kind of smell the soldering iron over here, so I'm gonna test it real quick, grab some of my solder and see if it's ready or not. Not quite. Oh, yep, it is. Okay, cool. All right, so now that I've got this guy done, I'm gonna bring, this is that little connector thing that is on the end. I guess that goes to the actual remote control car or truck or whatever this antenna goes to. I don't know. So again, this is the little plastic piece that where your antenna was. You can see it's hollow inside. It literally just sits up on top and doesn't do anything. So it's about the same size. So we're going to extend this antenna quite a bit. Should be able to get quite a bit of range, I'm hoping, out of this. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring my controller down. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the battery. If you've never worked with a soldering iron before, just be really careful. They get super, super hot. Just gotta wait for the solder to warm up in here. So what I'm just basically doing, guys, is all I'm doing is just lightly putting the soldering iron on the solder for the battery here, and then just pulling as the solder warms up. Just careful not to burn your hand or the plastic. Like I said, these things, they get really, really freaking hot. So, bring this around here so I can see it here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now we got the back half. So just remember what side is your red and what side's the black. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but just, just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to set that back here, and I'm going to remove this. So I went ahead and actually undid the screws on the circuit board. There's 6 of them. There's 2 here, 2 here, and then there's 2 on the outer. I don't think I'm going to need to actually do that because the antenna just goes right here. Let me get this close for you guys. So the antenna goes just right here. That's the solder point for the antenna, is right here on the board. So I'm going to pause a second, guys, because this is really a delicate part right here. I don't want to burn the circuit board up, and I need all the concentration I can get. So I'm going to put the soldering iron on here really quick. I'm going to remove this stock little antenna, and then I'm going to show you guys after that. So hold on. Alright, so here's the old antenna. As you can see, it's not really an antenna, it's just a piece of wire. That's it. So, and you can see here's the point on the board where it solders on. So on the CMAs, it actually has a little hole that you have to, so this guy just literally solders on right there, which is actually easier than the CMA. Again, if you guys are going to attempt to do this, be very, very, very careful. There's wires all over the top that control the buttons and everything like that. Just be super careful, because if you heat up the board too hot, you can fry the board and you're done. Your controller is toast. So I would suggest just being super, super careful. If you haven't soldered before, get somebody that knows how to solder or can help you solder. I've had lots of soldering experience in the past. Like I said, when I was younger, I used to race RC cars, so I'd have to constantly remove the old engine, the battery, let it cool down, charge the battery, put it back in before they had, all kinds of things. So, but anyway, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the camera here for a second. I'm going to take my new antenna, and I'm going to solder this into here right on the board where the old one was. And then the next step is I've got to figure out how this is going to fit on here exactly. I don't know if I may have to chop off the plastic right here, so that way this can sit in there. I'm not sure. So yeah, so it's going to take a few to figure out what I did. But once I have it for you guys, I'll let you know exactly what I did. Okay, so gonna pause here and going to finish up soldering the new antenna on, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm all done soldering on the new antenna. So it's soldered there. What I would do is just kind of lightly just do a little tug to make sure it stays. Don't pull hard. And then I also went ahead and just resoldered back on the two battery connections here. You don't have to unsolder the battery connections. I just did because it just makes it easier for me to move things around. So, and as soon as you're done soldering, just make sure that you unplug your soldering iron, because it gets really super hot. Again guys, if this is going to be your first soldering project, I wouldn't make it your first soldering project. Practice at home. I just burnt the holy heck out of my thumb, and it hurts, but that's okay. So my own fault. I was getting the solder, and it splattered on my finger. So what I ended up doing on the controller so I can fit the new antenna, I ended up just using my wire snippers and cutting that little tip off. And then what I'm going to do is around the edge of the new one, I'm going to put some electrical tape around to kind of help, and then I'll just put this back in there like so, and we'll see how that works. Hopefully it works pretty good. So hold on a second here, I'll get it wrapped up and get it done, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm all done here. I had to end up cutting off a little bit more on the inside there so that the antenna would fit in there, and I had to actually remove the electrical tape. That was a little bit too much. I didn't even need that. So that's where it sits, right up on top there. New antenna. Now when you use this new antenna guys, to get the best frequency, so when the signal from the remote comes out, if you have it like this straight up, the actual signal from the Wi-Fi or from the antenna does not come from the tip. It actually comes from here. Okay, so when you have it up like this, it's just going to be, the signal is going to be coming this way, and it's going to be coming this way. So if you decide to do this modification, put your antenna like that or like that, and that way it actually, so the signal will flow that way. Okay, I hope that makes sense for you. So I'm going to go ahead and put the batteries back in here. As you can see, it kind of at the top it was a little bit, you know, it's not perfect, but it's a modification. You know, nothing's ever going to be perfect on these, but it does fit. Everything went back in. Nothing's rattling. Buttons still work. Joysticks still work. Now the big thing is I'm going to put the batteries back in, and let's just hope that this guy powers up and actually connects to the copter. That's going to be the biggie right there. So I'm going to put these batteries back on. Let's make sure that we've got power. Okay, so here's the big test. It's all right. we got power. All right. So all right, awesome, very cool. So again, this is where it sits, just up on the top there. And again, when you're going to use this antenna, keep it to the side like this, because the actual signal from the remote does not come from the point. It actually comes from here, the lengthwise. So by doing this, you're not getting the full signal of the antenna. Okay, so you want to keep it to the side like that. That way it gets the full Wi-Fi signal. But okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pause here for just a second. Turn this guy off. Yeah, I'm going to pause here for just a second, kind of clean up a little bit here. And then I'm going to get the copter, and I'm going to try it out just real quick on my own and make sure that the copter responds to the remote, hopefully. Let's cross our fingers. And I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. So I've got everything all cleaned up, got the iron turned off. So I went ahead and just real quick, I wanted to test just to make sure that the quadcopter is still connected to the remote, and it did. And the quadcopter responded to the remote, which is a good thing. So what I'm going to do in the next video is I'll take it outside and I'll actually test it. I'm just not going to do it in my backyard just because I don't have enough room. I'm going to probably take it out to the football field where I did that first distance test, just so I get a nice clear shot in a nice wide open area, so that way I can actually test it. But here's the end result of what I did. And again, this is a just a standard 2.4 gigahertz antenna. I've seen people before where they'll drill out and they'll put one on the outside here, but I don't like that, the way it looks so much. So I went ahead and just put it right here. So again, guys, I want to stress this to you very much. If you decide to do this modification, this is at your own risk. If you don't know how to solder, get somebody that knows how to solder for you. Again, this is at your own risk. If you do this modification, you take the controller apart, you start messing with the wires in there, and you burn up the board inside there, Promark is not going to probably replace that remote for you. They're going to say that is a user fault, and they're going to say that, sorry, tough luck, so bad, too sad, and you'll be out of quadcopter. So again, I can't stress enough, if this is your first soldering project, get somebody to help you. Get somebody to help you with it, because this is pretty advanced as far as like modifications go. The next modification I'm hoping I'm doing, I'm going to get, I'm not going to do the brushless motors because it takes a lot to do that modification, but what I probably will do is I'll do the upgraded motors for the SEMA X8. They're a brass motor instead of the iron and one of my motors is kind of squealing. You've probably heard it in the other videos. So I'm going to try and maybe get some WD-40, spray it on there, see if maybe that helps. If that doesn't help, then I'll just order some new motors and we'll try and do that out. So again, this is the modification of the Promark P70 VR drone, and this is the range extension. So it's not perfect, but you know what? I think it's gonna work just fine. Like I said, I'm gonna take it out to the park and see how it works out tomorrow. So that's all I have for you guys for right now. So regarding the giveaway, we are very close to hitting 500. We're at, like, I think the last time I checked, we're at 465 subscribers. So if we can get to 500 subscribers, that's 500, I will give away a drone. I've already ordered it, so it's on its way. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I will, when I get it, I'll take it out of the package, do a quick review on it, just to make sure it works before I send it out to you guys. So anyway, so thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you really enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. And next to the subscribe button, you will notice a little bell. If you click on that bell, that's going to let you guys know when I have new videos that are out. And again, typically every week I upload on Thursdays and Fridays for you guys, and sometimes extras on the weekend if I have extra time. If I don't, that's why. So anyway, thank you for all the subscribers again, all the new people. Thank you for all the people that watched the videos, and thank you for all the wonderful comments and the support from everybody. You guys are awesome. I appreciate every single comment. I appreciate every single view and every single subscriber. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for that again. I appreciate it. And so that's all I have for today, guys. And so as usual, let's make sure that we keep our drones in the sky and flying high. And I'll see you guys tomorrow out in the park when I get the drone out there, and we're going to test out the extension, and we're going to see how well it performs out there. So you guys have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.